Daniel drives a 2019 Honda Civic with 94,000 miles on it. He packs lunch 4 days a week. His watch costs $47 on Amazon. His apartment is modest, not run down, just modest. Nothing about Daniel signals money. Nothing about Daniel, from the outside, suggests that finance is something he thinks about carefully or consistently. Daniel has $340,000 in index funds, a paid-off emergency fund, and a net worth that puts him in the top 12% of his age group. Nobody knows this. That is entirely the point. Now meet Brandon. Brandon drives a leased BMW 5 Series, $847 a month. His watch is a Rolex Submariner, purchased on a payment plan he doesn't like to think about. His Instagram is immaculate. His apartment is in the right neighborhood, which costs $700 more per month than the comparable apartment 2 miles east. Brandon looks, from every external signal available, like someone who has figured it out. Brandon has $4,200 in savings and $67,000 in consumer debt. Brandon is performing wealth for an audience of people who are performing wealth back at him. Everyone in the room is broke. Everyone in the room believes everyone else is not. This is the fake rich trap, and it is the single most effective wealth-destroying mechanism in modern consumer culture. Not market crashes, not bad investments, not bad luck. The performance of wealth funded by the absence of it. Today, we're going to expose exactly how it works, what it actually costs across a lifetime, and why the people who are quietly, genuinely building wealth are doing almost the exact opposite of what the wealthy are supposed to look like. I'm your friendly investor, and I spend too much time thinking about the gap between the appearance of wealth and the substance of it, and why so many people are building one at the direct expense of the other. If you want content that shows you how money actually works, not how it's supposed to look on social media, subscribe. We do this every week. And if you recognize Brandon in someone you know, or if you've been Brandon, even briefly, hit the thumbs up. This video needs to reach the people who are one lease renewal away from a financial decade they can't undo. Let's get into it. Here is the message that consumer culture has been delivering to you since you were old enough to understand advertising. Wealth looks like something. It looks like a specific car, a specific watch, a specific neighborhood, a specific wardrobe, a specific vacation posted in a specific way. The message is so pervasive, so consistently reinforced by media and social platforms and the spending behavior of the people around you that it has become functionally invisible, absorbed as truth rather than recognized as strategy. And it is a strategy, just not yours. Every luxury brand, every lease program, every buy now, pay later checkout button is built on one foundational insight. People will pay a significant premium to feel and appear wealthier than they are. The entire consumer debt industry is monetizing the gap between what people earn and what they want to signal. The average American household carries $6,500 in credit card debt, not because they spent that money on things they needed, because they spent it on things that communicated something about their status, their taste, their membership in a class of people they aspired to belong to. And here's the part that makes this genuinely insidious. The signaling works. When Brandon pulls up in the BMW, people update their assumptions about him. When he wears the Rolex, the room responds differently. The social return on his spending is real in the short term. The financial cost of that social return is catastrophic in any time horizon longer than the current quarter. He is renting the appearance of wealth at the price of the possibility of it. And the cruelest part of the trap is this. The people whose approval he is purchasing with the BMW and the Rolex are themselves making the same trade. The audience for his performance is also performing. The entire ecosystem runs on debt, aspiration, and the mutual agreement to never look too closely at what's underneath. Let me show you the full number, not the monthly payment, the full number, because the fake rich trap is specifically designed to keep you focused on the monthly payment, the number small enough to authorize while keeping the full number invisible. The BMW, Brandon's lease, $847 a month, 3-year term. At the end, he returns the car and leases another one because buying it would require a down payment he doesn't have. He has been doing this since he was 27. He is now 41. 14 years of BMW lease payments at an average of $780 a month, accounting for his earlier, slightly cheaper leases, is $131,040 paid to drive cars he never owned. $131,040 gone. No asset, no equity, no residual value. Just 14 years of looking like someone who drives a BMW. If Brandon had driven a reliable used car, paid $12,000 cash at 27, driven it for 7 years, bought another for $14,000, driven that, his total transportation cost over the same 14 years is approximately $31,000, including maintenance and insurance differences. The gap? $100,040. Invested at 8% annually over those 14 years, $234,000. Brandon spent $234,000 in future wealth on the right to drive a car with a specific logo on the hood for 14 years. The watch. The Rolex Submariner retails for approximately $9,100. Brandon financed it at 19.9% APR over 36 months. His monthly payment was $338. Total paid $12,168. He paid $3,068 in interest to own a watch that, yes, Rolexes do hold value, he could have sold for roughly $8,500 used. Net cost of the watch after financing and resale value, $3,668, and a credit card balance that took the space of a month's emergency fund contribution for 3 years. The apartment. The $700 monthly premium for the right neighborhood over a functionally identical apartment 2 miles east. Over 5 years, the time Brandon has lived there, that's $42,000 in extra rent. Not invested, not saved, spent on a zip code. The Instagram. This one doesn't have a line item. It has a pattern. Research from the Journal of Consumer Research found that social media exposure to luxury consumption increases discretionary spending in observers by an average of 32%. Not because they consciously decide to spend more, but because the ambient display of consumption raises the unconscious baseline of what feels normal. Brandon's Instagram isn't just documenting his spending, it's increasing everyone else's. Now let's add it up. Not Brandon's total spending, just these 3 categories across 14 years. BMW Premium over used car, $131,040. Watch financing cost, $3,668. Apartment zip code premium, $42,000. Total spent performing wealth, $176,708. Invested at 8% annually over 14 years, $396,000. Brandon does not have $396,000. Brandon has $4,200 in savings and $67,000 in consumer debt, and a BMW he will return in 11 months, and a Rolex he is still paying for. He spent $396,000 in future wealth on the appearance of current wealth, and the appearance is working perfectly. Nobody who sees him doubts it. Now let's talk about Daniel. Daniel discovered something in his late 20s that changed the entire structure of his financial life. Not a book, not a course, not a moment of sudden discipline. A realization. Nobody whose opinion matters actually cares what he drives. The people who would judge him for the Civic are not the people he wants in his life. The opportunities he wants, professional respect, genuine relationships, financial freedom, are not gated behind a car payment. The version of himself he is trying to become does not require an audience. This realization, quiet, private, almost boring, is the foundation of what the wealthy call stealth wealth. Stealth wealth is not poverty. It is not deprivation. It is not the rejection of quality or comfort or even luxury in some cases. It is the deliberate decoupling of spending from signaling. It is the decision to optimize for actual wealth rather than the appearance of it, and to be completely unbothered by the fact that nobody can see the difference. The stealth wealth practitioner looks, from the outside, like someone who hasn't quite arrived yet. Inside, they are building something that compound interest is already multiplying. Here's what Daniel's 14 years looked like while Brandon was leasing BMWs. Daniel drove the paid-off car, invested the difference, $780 a month, into a low-cost index fund from age 27. At 41, that account has $234,000 in it. Growing at 8% annually, it will add $18,720 this year without a single additional contribution. The market is now contributing more to Daniel's net worth annually than many people earn in a job. Daniel still drives an ordinary car. He still packs lunch most days. He still wears the $47 watch. His Instagram is sparse and unremarkable. His net worth is $340,000 and climbing at a rate that makes the BMW irrelevant. He is not sacrificing. He has reorganized his priorities around a longer time horizon, and the longer time horizon is paying him back in a way that the shorter one never could. This is the wealth hack that sounds like a punchline until you run the numbers. Looking poor, or more precisely, looking ordinary, looking unbothered by appearances, looking like someone who has not yet arrived, is the condition under which actual wealth builds. Because the money that would have gone to the signal goes to the asset instead, and the asset compounds. And the signal depreciates. This is not anecdotal. The data behind stealth wealth is some of the most consistent in personal finance research. Thomas Stanley and William Danko spent years studying actual millionaires in America, not celebrities, not tech founders, not people who made the news, ordinary millionaires, the people who, on a Tuesday afternoon, look exactly like Daniel. Their findings were stark. The majority of American millionaires drive used or domestic cars, not European luxury brands, live in neighborhoods where they are not the most visibly wealthy household on the block, have never leased a vehicle, do not wear luxury watches as daily accessories, have never carried a credit card balance for more than 2 months consecutively. The median millionaire in America does not look like a millionaire. This is not accidental. It is the operating condition under which millionaire status was achieved and maintained. Meanwhile, research from Experian found that the highest rates of luxury vehicle leasing are concentrated in households earning $75,000 to $125,000 annually, not the highest earners. The highest earners own their vehicles outright or drive ordinary cars. It is the aspirational middle that is most aggressively performing wealth at the highest cost to their actual financial progress. The people most visibly performing wealth are the people furthest from it. The people who have actually built it are wearing $47 watches and driving Civics and watching their index funds grow in an app they check once a month. This inversion, visible wealth as an indicator of financial fragility, invisible wealth as an indicator of financial strength, is one of the most important and least discussed truths in personal finance. Here is exactly how to apply this. 7 rules, not restrictions, redirections. Rule 1. Optimize your car for transportation, not communication. Your car has one job, to move you reliably from one place to another. Any premium you pay above what reliable transportation costs is being spent on communication, on what the car says about you to people who are not thinking about you as much as you think they are. Buy reliability used. Invest the difference. No exceptions. Rule 2. Let your savings account be your status symbol. When you feel the pull of a luxury purchase, the watch, the bag, the upgrade, open your investment account instead. Look at the number. Let that be the thing that makes you feel like you've arrived. The Rolex communicates to strangers. The index fund balance communicates to your future self. Decide which audience matters more. Rule 3. Spend on quality, not on brand. These are not the same thing. A $200 pair of shoes that lasts 8 years is stealth wealth thinking, high quality, no logo premium. A $900 pair of shoes with a visible logo that lasts the same 8 years is fake rich thinking. The extra $700 is a communication budget, not a quality budget. Pay for what lasts, don't pay for what signals. Rule 4. Make your rent decision based on function, not address. The zip code premium, the extra $400, $600, $800 a month for the right neighborhood, is one of the most expensive, ongoing status purchases most people make. Over 5 years, a $600 monthly zip code premium is $36,000. Invested, approximately $53,000 with growth. Ask honestly, is the neighborhood providing $53,000 of value over 5 years? Almost never. Live where your life actually happens. Invest the gap. Rule 5. Disconnect your identity from your possessions. The fake rich trap only works on people whose self-image is entangled with what they own. The deepest financial move available to you is not a budget change. It is an identity shift. The shift from, I am the kind of person who drives a BMW, to, I am the kind of person who has $340,000 in index funds. One of these identities is visible to other people. The other one is real. Decide which one you're building. Rule 6. Practice stealth wealth socially. You don't owe anyone an explanation of your financial decisions. You don't need to justify the Civic or defend the apartment or explain why you're not buying the round. The stealth wealth practitioner does not perform frugality any more than they perform luxury. They simply do not perform. They opt out of the audience entirely. This is, for most people, the hardest rule and the most liberating one. Rule 7. Let the math be your motivation. Every month, calculate the investment equivalent of your biggest status spend. If you're leasing a luxury car, calculate what 14 years of that payment invested at 8% becomes. Write that number down. Look at it every time the lease renewal comes around. You are not choosing between a nice car and a boring car. You are choosing between the car and $234,000. Put it in those terms. The choice becomes obvious. Brandon is 41 years old. He still looks exactly like he has figured it out. The BMW is immaculate. The watch catches the light. The apartment is in the right neighborhood. His Instagram documents a life that communicates clearly and consistently that Brandon has arrived. Brandon has $4,200 in savings. Daniel is 41 years old. He still looks, from the outside, like someone who hasn't quite gotten there yet. The Civic has a small scratch on the rear bumper he hasn't bothered to fix. The watch is still the $47 Amazon one. The apartment is fine. Not impressive, just fine. Daniel has $340,000 in index funds and a net worth growing faster every year than his annual salary. Neither of them has changed. Brandon is still performing for the same audience he has been performing for since he was 27. Daniel is still building for the same future self he decided to prioritize at the same age. The audience watching Brandon's performance will never know what it cost him. The future self Daniel is building for will know exactly what it's worth. Wealth is not what other people see when they look at you. It's what's left when the performance is over. If this reframed how you think about your spending, share it with someone who is one lease renewal away from another 4 years of looking wealthy while becoming less so. They need the math more than they need the motivation. And subscribe for more content that gives you the real picture, not just the one that photographs well. I'll see you in the next one.